Good evening, folks. Welcome back to the channel. It's good to see you. It always is. I hope you're doing well. Round 2 in the US Open today. We'll be going through each and every one of these matches we've got. Make sure you get your comments in with your predictions. If there's anything I'm taking personally, it'll be in that pinned comment. Feel free to do with that what you will. Take it if you want. Leave it if you must. It's entirely up to you. Ultimately, we make our own decisions over here. But like the video, before we get started, if you'd be so kind, get yourself subscribed to the channel. If you're not already, we did hit 2.6k subscribers in yesterday's video. I'm very grateful for each and every one of you. We continue to grow each and every day. It'd be an honour to welcome you to the squad. And now it's time for a recap. How did we manage in yesterday's matches? Did we win? Did we lose? Did we come close? Did we enjoy the tennis? Most importantly, I'll go first. I had a little go on Mochizuki and Medjedovic on a plus money parlay. Happy days for Mochizuki. Relative easy, just breezed past Hugo Gaston. I was never in doubt with that one. I was aware of the dangers with Medjedovic. Given the hard court, I would have always given him the slight advantage against Daniel Altmaier, but the way the match went, you ain't going to catch me complaining. Grueling match. It was a decent one indeed. I ain't going to cry about that. Certainly ain't going to catch me crying like some people have been in the comments already. Look, I'll just mention this before we touch on as well. It's day 4. Is it day 4? I'm still in a perfect spot with all these outrights. You know, the bets, it's been 3 days. I've went 1 and 2. 1 and 2. There's been no damage done anyway, barely any damage done. We've had a couple of bitches already. And we get this every time the slams come round, and we just get a couple of bitches. It's the first round. If you're going to be crying over, like, Quinton Hallis and, like, Alex Michelsen shit in the bed in the first round in the US Open, this ain't the sport, this ain't the tournament. Maybe don't bother with it. It's for your own good. It's for your own good because we've got a hell of a lot of tennis to be played. And you know me, I don't give in. I don't give in. If we never truly surrender, we will never truly be beaten. So if you want to bitch and moan about one match in the first round not going your way, I've lost all this. Some people are just bullshitters too. I lost $2.5 million in 2 days. Like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. Stop talking shit. No one believes you. If you've got any advice, please do let us know beforehand. You know. Most of you, pretty much everyone, you don't need me to tell you that, everyone continues to support and continues to get involved each and every day, and I'm very thankful for it. But for the one or two that find it fitting to predict these matches after they've already finished, if you're going to do that, don't bother. Don't even bother. It's very easy to predict the winner of a tennis game after the fact, is it not? Just food for thought. But now all that's said and done, we'll waste no more time. We'll get into business, folks. Let's get it on. Right, so first off, got Nakashima. Jeremy Kim could be a lot closer than what those odds would suggest, if you'd ask me. I, for one, have been very impressed with Jeremy Kim so far in the US Open. He's flew through qualifying all in straight sets, and then he just dismantled Ethan Quinn in the first round. Happy days. Happy days. Rather decent form indeed. Decent momentum prior to this as well. That makes it 8 of his last 10. Brandon Nakashima, I mean, anyone catch that game against De Jong? Dicey, very ropey indeed. 5 sets was what was needed from the American to get past De Jong. It was all over the place as well. A couple of 6-2s, couple of tie breaks. Very hard to gauge how he's going to look in this one. He is 1.3. He's a massive favourite, the home favourite, you know, going to have the crowd and what have you. Not only that, I mean, is it just me? Or, you know, if we look at this for what it is, even though Jeremy Kim has been in decent form, and I'd love him to get this one done. I think he stands a really good chance. I've been looking at him for at least a set anyway. We'll touch on that in a moment. Since we've come to the US Open, Carlos Taberna, Zeng, Wu, Ethan Quinn, I would have to assume Brandon Nakashima would be quite the step up from any one of them. That's just my opinion on it. Would I be taking him at 1.3? No. Absolutely not. And I do mean that on this one as well. I couldn't take Bina. 1.28, you know what I mean? People are even taking that. He probably wins. He probably should be winning if the rankings mean anything. 31 in the world for the American, and then 175 for Jeremy Kim. 4 more not. I feel like there's levels, and it probably will be a bit of an ask for Jeremy Kim to get past Brandon Nakashima today, but I think he does stand a decent chance at giving it a very good go. Couple of these qualifiers have looked really good in the main draw. Jeremy Kim being one of them. I'll take him for a set. Like him for a set. Maybe look at the spread. You can get about 5.5, something like that. I think I seen 5.5 before. I may be wrong, don't quote me on it. But I'd look for Kim for a set, if anything, in that one, just as a little parlay piece. I'd rather just sweat him for the one set than Bina for the full match. That's just their food for thought. But we'll move on to Yuri Lehecka and Etcheverry. It kind of have to be Lehecka for me in this one, folks. It would have to be Yuri Lehecka for me. Contrary to what the head-to-head would suggest as well, these have played each other 3 times before. Etcheverry's won 2 of the 3. Every single one coming on the clay, all of them in straight sets too. Most recently was in Hamburg earlier on in the season, 7-5 and then 6-3 for the Argentine. Routine win. You know, if this was on the clay, especially with Etcheverry, you don't need me to tell you it does change things quite considerably. But with it being the US Open, with it being the hard court, I think it's time for Lehecka now. It's definitely Lehecka time. Etcheverry did look good against Ugo Carabelli. We had a feeling he'd win that one. He came into that as a 1.3 favourite, and he absolutely slapped the shit out of him. And now he plays Yuri Lehecka, and he's nearly a 3-1 dog. Yuri Lehecka is now the 1.3 favourite. I thought he looked solid against Bonzi. Couple of concerns after he dropped that first set. I thought, oh no, here we go. No, he managed to dig deep, win the second, third and the fourth. It all just kind of came undone for Bonzi in that final set. A nice little 6-1. Like I said, given the circumstances, I would have to assume Yuri Lehecka is going to beat Etcheverry on the hard court. I would just have to. This is where he thrives in. 17-8. This is where he's done all the damage so far this season. Etcheverry, 8 wins, 8 losses. That's not too bad. That's not too bad for someone who prefers the clay. But if you're looking at the wins, I mean, look, 4 of the 8 have come since we've returned to the hard court. But if we're looking at all of them at whole, I mean, we're taking out these United Cup ones against Billy Harris, Tristan Schoolkate in Adelaide, start of the season, Flavio Caboli, Australian Open, that was when Caboli was playing shit, Nicholas Maja in the Challenger Tour, and then the most recent ones, Pierre Hughes Herbert, and then Talon Greek Sport in Toronto. Nothing to write home about, especially the Greek Sport one. Talon Greek Sport is in the mud at the moment. And then a win against Jerry Shang in Cincinnati. Decent enough, seemed decent enough, but Jerry Shang just isn't in great enough shape to be performing, if you'd ask me. I mean, didn't he just pull out of his last match? Didn't he just have to pull out against Matteo Bellucci? Yeah. It's not looking good for Jerry Shang, so how much weight that win holds, I'm not too sure. And then obviously the one against Ugo Carabelli. My point being, I doubt it's enough, and I doubt a win against any of those at any point in the season would be enough for me to back him against Yuri Lehecka. What I know, Yuri Lehecka can deliver on the surface. I feel like he has all the weapons and more to take on the likes of Etcheverry on the surface. So 1.3, if you can even get him at 1.3, it's 1.25 in most places. That'd be the pick. That would most definitely be the pick. If you want to sweat it on your parlay, be my Christopher guest. But we'll move on to Djokovic and Zachary Svajda. What a waste of time. What a waste of time. I mean, there's not much to break down in a matchup like this, is it, folks? I'm still in the frame of mind that Djokovic is just going to annihilate anyone like this. 1.07. I mean, what do you want me to say? What do you even want me to break down? The only way you can possibly care about something like this is if you genuinely believe in Zachary Svajda. You believe that he can keep it close enough to cover a spread for you, even hit an over or whatnot. Reality is, ultimately I don't think he's not going to beat Djokovic, is he? I do not think the sky will fall today and Zachary Svajda is going to upset Djokovic over in the US Open. Absolutely not. Svajda, like I said, he is one that has come through qualifying, all in straight sets too, and then he beats Zombipiros in 3. Happy days. 4 on the bounce. Holmgren, Zakayev, Husler, Zombipiros. I don't think it would mean fuck all coming up against Djokovic today. Absolutely not. So if you fancy taking Djokovic for an absolute beatdown, minus the games, it's probably the way you're going to have to look. 1.07. I expected nothing less. So the next one is going to be Rafael Collignon and Casper Ruud. I think this one's more of the same. Now, I would love to sit here and try and fashion an argument or fashion a path to victory for Rafael Collignon. I mean, apart from Casper, who just shit in the bed immensely, I don't know what he's going to have to do to take on Casper. He looked fantastic against Sebastian Ofner. Now, I do know Sebastian Ofner has been rather shit the past couple of months, but even still, Casper Ruud didn't even give him a chance. Not a chance. 6-1, 6-2 in a tiebreak. I fear there's not a lot Rafael Collignon's going to do against Casper Ruud today, providing we get the right version of Casper Ruud. Then again, I don't want to take anything away from the kid, but even if we got the wrong version of Casper Ruud, I still fancy him to pretty much get this one done against the likes of Collignon. He looked fairly decent in the first round. 6-4, 6-4, 6-4 against Daniel Galan. Unfortunately, that means absolutely fuck all to me. I would be fully expecting Casper Ruud to get this one done at 1.15. No business to be done whatsoever. So you'd approach that one entirely how you want. And then the next one is Joao Fonseca and Thomas Machac. Am I looking forward to this one the most out of them all? Maybe this one, and maybe the Bonzi match, but I think this one is probably going to be the one for us, is it not? Who's it going to be? Who is it going to be? Both of them did look good in the first round. A quick tip of the cap to Thomas Machac as well. Actually managed to finish a game. Nah, I'm only joking, but came up against Norrie. I had a feeling he'd win. I mean, 6-3, 6-1, 6-1. This is what I mean. This is exactly what he can do. This is what he can do to the majority of them. You know, he's so good on these hard courts. So good. We ain't really seen the full version, the full product of Thomas Machac in quite some time. Pretty much since, the start of the season, a few months in. But boy, did he look good against Norrie. Absolutely. And then Fonseca, he looked decent against Kecmanovic, but they're neither one of the greatest opponents, are they? I would expect the two of them to win pretty much 9 times out of 10, given the opponents that they had. Both of them in straight sets too. What is the price on this? I mean, it's pretty much split down the middle as it stands right now. I could be wrong, but maybe this is just me. Maybe there's going to be many others out there that think like I do. I can't help but feel like I'm going to have to take Thomas Machac today. It's going to be one of them matches. I don't know why I put myself through it, It's going to be the Fonseca Ultras are going to be there, aren't they? He's going to have the Palmeiras fans there with the fucking drums, just causing absolute chaos in that crowd. It feels like every time you go against Fonseca, there's always an extra little something going against you, and it fucking sucks having to sit there and watch you. I just think Thomas Machac is miles better than Joao Fonseca. If he can turn up, if he's 100% fit, if he's going to turn up and play like he did against Norrie, I imagine he beats Fonseca 3-1, straight sets. I don't know. Like I say, I could be wrong. It's hard to gauge with Fonseca. It really is. We've seen him play really good in the past. I know that. I ain't seen him do that much as of late. And I've been saying for weeks, haven't I? The return game of this guy. The return game of Fonseca leaves a lot to be desired for me. Now look, straight sets against Kecmanovic at sound. 2 tiebreakers in a 6-3. I think Thomas Machac on these hard courts is going to give you a much tougher time indeed than what the likes of a Kecmanovic will. I mean, the serve of Thomas Machac alone, there's that to go off. Are you going to be able to return that? Barely retain the Kecmanovic serve, so I would have to assume Thomas Machac will probably have a little bit more, if not a lot more success on that front. And just overall, he's much more suited to the spot and he's much more experienced, I think. Fonseca's still very wet behind the ears, especially in spots like this. I'd have to go with Thomas Machac. I would have to go with Thomas Machac, round of 16 last year. Might fancy himself for another decent run at that price as well. Come on. Who do we think it's going to end up? It's going to come in on one of them at the moment. I don't know. It's kind of coming in on Thomas Machac, but I feel like once people start seeing Fonseca as a dog, they won't be able to help themselves. I've got him at 1.9 at the moment. I am very, very tempted to trust in Thomas Machac. Maybe for the last time this season, depending on how it goes. I don't know. but I feel like the price might just be right for me on that. If anyone's got anything, please do let me know. Just going off what I know and how I feel, it would always have to be Thomas Machac against Joao Fonseca in the current day anyway. Right, so next up, Lloyd Harris, Taylor Fritz. Every day of the week I refuse to believe that Lloyd Harris is going to send this guy home so early on in the Grand Slam. Look, Taylor Fritz, apart from Sinner and Alcaraz, probably one of, if not the best player that we've had on the tour for the past couple of months. Absolutely. Fully expecting him to get past Lloyd Harris today. He comes into this around 1.08 as a colossal favourite, and I expected nothing less. Now, obviously, there's no business to be done with that. For what it's worth, they've played each other twice before, back in 2020, the pair of them, and it's one apiece, the head-to-head. Don't think that matters at all today. I really don't. I think the sky would have to fall in order for Taylor Fritz to get beat by Lloyd Harris. I knew he was going to beat Sebastian Baez. He looked good doing that, but I mean, most do. 99% of people that he meets on the hard court beats him, so doesn't really hold much weight. Even coming through qualifying, decent enough, but the calibre of opponents, you couldn't be any further from the guy that you're going to be facing today. So I fear this is most definitely the end of the road for Lloyd Harris. It's been good seeing you, my mate. It's been good seeing you, but not a lot you can do when Taylor Fritz is about. So we'll move on to Cam Norrie and Comesana. Now I'm looking forward to this one. This could be an absolute banger. Getting Cam Norrie around 1.4, 1.5. It's quite a little bit of cash coming in on the Argentine at the moment. I get it. I kind of get it. Both of these look really good. Both look really good. Comesana look fantastic in the first match. Cam Norrie look really good against Sebastian Korda. But then when Sebastian Korda pulls out, it makes you sort of go, how much can you take away from a win against a hampered opponent? It is what it is. But for the most part, he was just slapping him up, having his way with him. Dare to say both of them managed to get a win over a pair of shit-the-beds in the first round. So, I can't take a lot away from either one. Comesana, based on what we know from the pair of them, you would have to assume it's much more suited for Cam Norrie to probably get this one done. Third round last year in the US Open, round of 16, year before that. Quite fancies himself over here. Comesana did also get to the third round last year, which leads me to the point that I wanted to make. Is it just me? Or does Comesana always do good when you don't expect him to, when you least expect it from him? And I'm not saying it was entirely out of the picture. We didn't completely write him off against Alex Michelsen, but it's always when you least expect it, Comesana strikes, man, every single time. Maybe he just operates well as a decent dog. I don't know. Cam Norrie 1.4, 1.5. Was I that much more impressed with Cam Norrie against Korda than what I was against Comesana? If I'm being honest with you folks, probably not. Now, straight off the bat, on paper, I was looking at it and I probably would have leaned towards Cam Norrie to get this one done, based just on what I know alone. But Comesana is a decent sleeper, man. We say it more often than not. He is like the dark horse, and he is a bit of a dark horse. I'm not saying he's winning it. He probably doesn't go much further than this, even if he does beat Cam Norrie, but I think it's a winnable match. I think it's definitely a winnable match for both of these players. I think it's safe to say, you don't need me to tell you, we've definitely seen more from Cam Norrie on the surface over the years. Much more experienced as well in the spot. I feel like that'll sit next to you rather nicely in the Grand Slam. Do I trust him to get it done? Probably not. I don't trust Cam Norrie that much, and you know what? Even prior to the match against Sebastian Korda, I said it, didn't I? I didn't trust him prior to the US Open. He was on an absolute stinker of air losses. Brandon Nakashima, the one to Vukic and the one to Batista Agut. Gets himself a win against a visibly hampered and now obviously injured Sebastian Korda. And he's 1.44 against Comesana, who turned up and just slapped the shit out of Michelsen. Michelsen was a big favourite in that one too. He was a bigger favourite to get that one done than what Korda was against Cam Norrie. I think Comesana could give him a bit of trouble. He serves well. We've seen this a lot, haven't we? Especially on the hard court. He serves really well, deceivingly well. Dare I say, I'm not going to say there's enough free points in it because he's not that type of server, but I think he possesses a game that can definitely stifle a Cam Norrie, 100%. I mean, if Vukic and Batista Agut can do it, I don't see why a relatively hot Comesana couldn't at least upset the apple cart, throw a few curveballs his way. I'd lean towards an over. I'd probably lean towards an over in that one. Both of them to win a set, over 3.5 sets. Seems alright in that one for me. Let me Benjamin Bonzi, Machac Giron. I feel like I'd have to side ever so slightly with Benjamin Bonzi in this one based on what I've seen the past few weeks. Now, it could go either way, you don't need me to tell you that. Thought he looked decent enough against Medvedev, although it was all over the place. All over the place. Even he got bageled as well. Medvedev bageled him, and Bonzi still come back and won. Fantastic. Great shit. I love to see it. The curious case of Benjamin Bonzi continues. Decent in Cincinnati too. Arnaldi, Musetti, Tsitsipas got beat by Felix in the round of 16. Machac Giron did get himself some revenge against Navone in the first round. Did take him 5 sets. 5 sets against Navone, 5 sets against Medvedev. You know, you pick which one. Although Medvedev ain't quite the Medvedev that we know and love. We'll just add that into the mix too. But it was only a few days ago Machac Giron was getting the shit slapped out of him by Navone and Alexander Blocks and Mannarino and Munar and Mensah. 5-game losing streak prior to the Grand Slam. I don't think many needed a win other than Machac Giron this week. So fair play to him. But is it enough? Is it enough? That's just the one win. One win for me just isn't enough to suggest he's going to come in and take out Benjamin Bonzi, especially if Bonzi makes it hard for him. He's been hard to beat. He's hard to beat, and he seems to be in decent form at the moment as well. Seems to be in decent form indeed. 4 of his last 5. I'll take that over 1 in your last, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 in your last 6. 2 in your last 7 for Giron. No, I need to see more. If Giron turns up and manages to just ride on the back of that home crowd, he does have the slight home court advantage in this one, then so be it. You know, believe it or not, there's actually a little bit of cash coming in on Machac Giron. He's actually turning in to a very small favourite, so providing you fancy a piece of Bonzi today, you'll probably be able to get him as a dog. Happy days. Smiles all around. I'll probably take him 2 sets. 2 sets. I think Benjamin Bonzi could be good on that set handicap today. 1.5 sets. Well, plus the 1.5 sets anyway. I certainly do not see Machac Giron turning up and beating him in straights. Absolutely not. So I'd lean towards Bonzi for a win. And I'd lean towards him on that plus 1.5 set handicap. So we'll move on. Waste no more time with it. Artur Rinderknech, Davidovich Fokina. Going to be a quick one. It would have to be Davidovich Fokina, wouldn't it? 1.25, and people are taking it. People are taking it as well. Don't blame them. The steepest of parlay pieces, but I'm pretty sure he gets this one done today. It's kind of impossible to go near Artur Rinderknech on the hard court. It has been all season. 4 wins, 11 losses. But at the end of August, Davidovich Fokina sits on 20 and 11. Much more trustworthy, much more suitable. Well, much more suited to the surface. A hell of a lot more efficient as well. All the signs definitely point towards the Spaniard in that one. And then we shall crack on. So next one, we've got Darderi and Spizzirri. I feel like I would have to go with Luciano Darderi in this one. I feel like I would have to go with him. But, you know, the more I read into it, the more I look into it, I suppose I could definitely make an argument for the American in this one. It's just a surface clash, innit? It may just be a surface issue. I'm not too sure. Spizzirri is most definitely more suited to the quicker surfaces of the hard court. Darderi, as we know, and as we've said all season, thrives on the clay. 3-7 now on the surface for Darderi, and 20-11 for the American. But yet Darderi comes in around 1.6, and people are taking it. People are taking it as well. A little bit of cash coming in on the Italian. Now he's the better player. No doubt in my mind who the better player is on the day. Darderi's just more lethal. I know he possesses a more lethal game, but I'm kind of just banking on the fact of what I keep mentioning. You know, I'd like to believe there's definitely a hardcore game. Let's just call it an all-surface game that resides within Luciano Darderi. Take some time for him to showcase it. We ain't really seen it as of yet. Yeah, he's went 2-2. 2 wins, 2 losses since we've come back to the hard court. It's pretty much more than what we've seen out of him ever since. Comesana's beat him and Kekmanovic has beat him. He had to pull out against Comesana. Beat Mackenzie McDonald and he beat Dinky as well. So, look, it's a win. Beat Dinky in straight sets as well. Spizzirri beat, is it Stefan Stanic? I mean, I still don't know who that guy is. I'm not too sure, folks. I'm really not too sure on this one. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm familiar with the game of the American in this. The odds are a little bit closer. Get it, 1.6 for Darderi. Everybody's aware that he's not really capable. Well, he hasn't really proved to be very capable on the hard court as of late. So maybe Spizzirri is in a perfect position to just take over and take advantage of that. Possibly if this was on the clay, them odds would be nothing like this, nothing like it. So maybe we're giving a little bit of respect to the American in that regard. I agree with it. I do agree with it. Like I said, based on what I know, I'm more familiar with Darderi. 1.6, it's very tempting. It's a tempting parlay piece, I'll give you that. But I've said it, haven't I? I keep saying it, he's not that good. I need to see more. I need to see more than a win against Dinky and a win against McDonald on the hard court. String some wins together in the US Open, prove me wrong, and then maybe, just maybe, I'll have a couple go on you. Well, a few goes come the indoor season towards the end of the year. But as of right now, although it is a very tempting price, Luciano Darderi, I would lean towards him to get it done because he is a more trustworthy player. You know, if you look at the rankings, it's 34th to 127. Shouldn't really be a question, really. The surface does matter. And the past few weeks I've mentioned it every time with the Italian. It may just be a surface issue. It may just be. I'd like to hope he can be good on the hard court. I feel like he has all the tools to possess a decent game on the hard court anyway, but as we see more often than not, doesn't really work out for him. Or doesn't really work out quite how he'd want it to as well, so I'm probably just going to sit off that one. Maybe we could be in for a tough one, could be in for an over. I say we could be in for an over. I don't know, Darderi likes to shit some of these sets away, doesn't he? A couple of 6-2s and a couple of 6-1s, we've seen it. I don't know. You'll have to let me know. On Elliot Spizzirri. Is he good enough to take out Luciano Darderi? Even if he is on his more suited surface, I'm not so sure. In this one, folks. I'm not going to waste any more time on it because it's giving me a migraine just having to think about it. One, Jordan Thompson, Adrian Mannarino played each other 10 times in the past. Certainly no stranger to the game of one another. Head-to-head is 6-4 to Mannarino. Now, look, I could sit here and talk about this for hours. Talk about this one for hours and go on and go round in circles. But fact of the matter is, we've seen this about a week ago over in Cincinnati, and Adrian Mannarino just bullied Jordan Thompson. Bullied them 6-2 on the hard court. I would like to think not that much is going to change in a very short amount of time. I would like to think this is going to be another Mannarino win. We've kind of been calling it for the past few weeks, but I haven't been firing. I've been rather hesitant to bet on him. But look, Mitchell Kruger, Svacina, Jordan Thompson, Thomas Machac, Tommy Paul in Cincinnati took Jannik Sinner to get rid of him. It literally took Jannik Sinner to get rid of him in the round of 16. And he's come back into the US Open. And then he's just dealt with Talon Griekspoor in straight sets. And I say dealt with him, and I really do mean dealt with him as well. 7-5, 6-4, and then a bagel. Great. Fantastic. We've been saying that, haven't we? If you're not ready for Mannarino, then you're not ready. It's a waste of time. You may as well just stay at home. Jordan Thompson looked good against Mute. But Jordan Thompson's really struggled for fitness. All season. And this is what he's been doing. He comes back and he looks fantastic, and you go, oh my god, Jordan Thompson looked brilliant in the last match. And then he turns up in the next one, has a crap first set, and then shakes hand in the second. It's like, I don't know. He can barely stay fit. He pulled out of a couple games in the last 10 as well. I can see him, one in Queens, one in Wimbledon. Well, the one to Taylor Fritz in Wimbledon. The game before Mute, literally a week ago, an absolute beatdown by Mannarino. Mannarino done him 6-2, 6-2. Come on. I can't look away from that. I can't. If you're not used to playing him by now, even at this point in his career, if you're going to let him do that to you, I don't think much is going to change coming into this. I would have to go with Adrian Mannarino once again. Like I said, it's taken Jannik Sinner and it's taken Ben Shelton to stop to stop Adrian Mannarino since we've come back to the hard court. So maybe that stands for something. Maybe I might have a little go. Maybe I'll just trust me gut on this one and think Mannarino gets it done based on the skill advantage alone. Right, then the next one, we've got Struff and Holger Rune. You'd want to go with Holger Rune in this one. I imagine you would want to go with Holger Rune based on what we've seen pretty much all season, even just on the hard courts alone. 15 and 7 from Rune, 5 and 9 from Jan-Lennard Struff. But you don't need me to tell you, or maybe you do, when you run into Struff, when he's on a bit of a tear like this, you're in for a bad time. More often than not, you're in for a bad time. He is in one hell of a run as well. Come all the way through qualifying, and then he got it done against Mackenzie McDonald in the first round. But with that being said, I'm having flashbacks of Kitzbühel. I know it's a different surface, maybe it's irrelevant and it means nothing, but I said it last time, I remember it perfectly. He looked fantastic in qualifying, he looked great in the main draw. He came up against Artikazo and he looked like garbage. Garbage. He's already played 4 games so far. Make it this one his 5th. How much do I expect on Struff? On the fitness front? In a best of 5? I'm not too sure. I'm not that sold on it. I'm really not. Holger Rune, he can most definitely take a set off, and I think Struff can most definitely turn up and serve his way through at least a set, maybe 2, maybe even the full game. You don't know. If Holger Rune can't wrap himself around the first serve, I'd say he's fucked. That's the same story for everyone, innit? If you can't deal with these service games with Jan-Lennard Struff, there ain't a lot down for you, I'm afraid. Holger Rune looked decent against Van der Sandschulp. It's as good as you wanted him to look. I mean, was it a 6-3? 6-3 and 2 tie breaks. Van der Sandschulp has just reached the final a couple of days prior to this, so maybe fatigue was a little bit of a factor in that one. Maybe it wasn't. But since we've come back to the hard courts, he's looked fairly good. He's looked fairly good indeed. Round of 16 in Toronto. Quarterfinals in Cincinnati. And I fancy him to at least get past the second round in the US Open, if I'm being honest with you folks. Although he's already sort of outdone himself for the previous 2 years. First round exits, back-to-back first round exits the last 2 years for Holger Rune. So will he be able to go one more? Will he go one more? The odds would suggest he would, but 1.3 does seem a little bit steep to trust in Holger Rune today, especially if Struff's good to go. If he's good to go, we could turn up and just stifle you, and this could be over rather quickly. So we've got a few big favourites. We should have just probably wrapped the majority of these are big favourites, actually. Majority is this video could have been about 5 minutes, but for the sake of what we do, we'll just we'll talk some shit about them, why not? We've got Bellucci and Alcaraz. Shouldn't be allowed, should be illegal in every sense, like why are these playing each other? I'd say Bellucci's not going to beat Carlos Alcaraz. If he turns up and he keeps it close, if he turns up and he does damage, then it is what it is, but absolutely nothing to suggest that he's going to do anything along the lines of that. It's just a guess in it. It's just a pure punt that you look at the price and you go, oh yeah, Bellucci on the points or whatever. You get people on Twitter going, oh, this is a lock. This is the right thing to do. It's not the right thing to do. The right thing to do would just be to stay away from such a thing like this unless you want to take Alcaraz in an absolute slam spot. Don't see Bellucci coming close. Don't see Bellucci coming close in this one, from what we've seen in the past, not even the past few weeks. What I've seen against Jami Munar, he couldn't even win a point. Barely against Jami Munar. So I don't think there's anything down for him against Alcaraz. Ben Shelton's playing Carreno Busta. Got to be Ben Shelton. I don't think Carreno Busta's in any shape to be taking on Shelley over in the US Open 1.09. You do with that what you will. Like I said, we'll assess the situation with these big favourites deeper into the tournament when we get bigger prices. That's even if we do. We may have to wait till the final to get a decent one with Alcaraz. Big Foe playing Martin Damm. Of course he is. Big Foe's going to win as well. Of course he is. Big Foe, like I said, with Taylor Fritz. Probably same with Ben Shelton as well. He's going to serve his way through to at least around the 16 for Big Foe. I haven't really checked the draw for him. He may be in for an absolute nightmare in the next one for all I know. I doubt it. They like to slot him a few easy ones here. I don't know, Martin Damm could just turn up and beat him. He could turn up and beat him, but I wouldn't be willing to roll a dice on it. Not early days in the US Open. This is Big Foe's entire tournament, entire season, just in 2 weeks right here. I suppose it is for the majority of them, We spend 7 months of the year going, just wait till the US Open. Just wait till the US Open. Just wait and see what they do in the US Open. Just you wait till we get to that US Open. And apart from Fritz, Shelley, and maybe the odd one or two, majority of them have done fuck all. Done absolutely nothing. So, if it ain't Fritz, if it ain't Shelley, I ain't going to bother with it. And Big Foe's 1.12. 1.12. I'm fully expecting them to get past Martin Damm, by the way, but I ain't going to be watching that. I'll probably be watching Darderi and Spizzirri, if I'm being honest with you, or whatever else is on around that time. Probably Machac or Blanchett, any other than that one. Absolute snooze fest. And who's next? Is there one more? There might be one more. I don't think there's one more, folks. I think that's all. Very well, folks. That shall do us once again. Appreciate you stopping by. Thanks for watching the show. Make sure you like and subscribe before you go. Get your comments in with your predictions. If you're gonna be like the one or two that we have every now and then, feels it's okay to predict these matches after they've already finished, and don't even bother. Very easy to predict the outcome of sport after the fact, is it not? But share with the group, get yourself involved. Anything I'm going for will be in that pinned comment, and I'll be seeing you around. I'll be saying good day to you. Take it easy, take care of yourselves, take care of one another. It's the most important thing. Enjoy the matches today, best of luck to you, and I'll see you tomorrow.